Timoleon was the son of a prominent family from the Greek city of Corinth. Around 365 BC, when his brother tried to usurp the Corinthian throne, Timoleon was forced to have him killed for the safety of his people. This act of fratricide damaged his familial connections, and he spent 20 years away from all political matters. But by 344 BC, Timoleon's service would once again be required. At the time, the citizens of Syracuse were in the iron grip of the despots Dionysius II and Hicetus of Leontini. The Syracusans pleaded for Corinth to intervene in their plight. In the meantime, Hicetus had allied with the Carthaginians in order to keep Syracuse under his control and restrict all movements between Sicily and Greece. In response, the Corinthians elected Timoleon to be supreme commander over the campaign against Hicetus, and he sailed with a small mercenary force over to Sicily. Before he could land on the island, he had to outmaneuver the Carthaginian blockade guarding it. Plutarch details how Timoleon successfully lured the enemy admirals away from the city of Tauromenium, which the Corinthians began using as a base of operation. Within a short time, Timoleon won a victory over a small force belonging to Hicetus near the town of Adranum. The victory spurred other rulers in Sicily to join the Corinthians, including Dionysius, who promised to give over the citadel of Syracuse. Plutarch further notes how fortune consistently favored Timoleon, for Hicetus could never place him into a position that threatened his forces. By 340 BC, Timoleon had secured Syracuse and began setting up a new constitution for the survivors. Soon the Carthaginians returned to Sicily with a large force, determined to eliminate the Greeks from the island entirely. Timoleon once again led a small but determined force against the enemy and managed to win a surprise victory over the Carthaginians at the river Cremissus. Hicetus and his family were eventually captured by Timoleon's forces, who were quickly put to death under his orders. With Hicetus gone, Sicilian cities began rebuilding under a new era of peace. Timoleon would live out his days in Sicily before passing away in 337 BC due to an illness. The Sicilians mourned him with great sorrow and gratitude, for his efforts allowed them to live prosperously under a newer and fairer constitution. And now we shall turn our attention to his Roman counterpart. Without knowing it, Aemilius Paullus would be the last of his original family line. He was the son of the consul Paulus, who died fighting against Hannibal and the Carthaginians in the Battle of Cannae in 216 BC. As he matured into adulthood, he ascended the cursus honorum by first achieving an aedileship in 193. This was later followed by a praetorship in Spain and his first consulship, which saw him make war against the Ligurians. But his greatest achievements would be made against the Macedonians. In 171 BC, King Perseus of Macedon began the Third Macedonian War against Rome. As the Romans were ready to elect a man with the capacity for great operations instead of political influence, Aemilius was elected to his second consulship in 168 and led the Romans to great success. Much like his Greek counterpart, Timoleon, Plutarch notes how Aemilius appeared to be favored by fortune when at war with Perseus. The major action of the campaign came at the Battle of Pydna, where the legions defeated the Macedonian phalanx in less than 1 hour. Perseus tried to flee the Romans, but their capturing of his family forced the king to be delivered to Rome as a prisoner. After establishing Roman liberty in Greece and Macedon, Aemilius returned home to enjoy a triumph. While Plutarch describes the beautiful display of the spoils of war during the procession, he also notes how the political fortune of Aemilius did not carry over to his family life. The 2 sons he intended to have carry his name died within days of his triumph. His first 2 sons had previously been adopted into other patrician families, and his daughters were successfully married off. As a result, Aemilius lived out his final years as the last of his line. He would earn the office of censor a few years after his triumph, before passing away in 160 BC due to an unknown illness. Many foreigners, such as the Ligurians and Macedonians, regarded Aemilius as their benefactor, for he treated them humanely and always bestowed benefits to them, as written in the end of his biography.